Welcome back to the show.
Hello.
Very, very good. How are you? More to the point, returning to the show as the new CageWarriors Champion. Is that sunk in yet?
Yeah, it has now. So I just feel like a fat cunt at the minute. I've just been eating loads. But now it feels good. I've got the belt next to me now. Everybody's come around wanting to get a picture and wanting to see it.
So how much eating are we doing? Or is the belt? Are you having to move up a hole in the belt yet?
Yeah. The belt don't fit no more. I've got to get the welterweight one, I think.
So what was it like then after it? Did it take you a few days just for everything to sink in and what you'd achieved?
Yeah, it was a massive like high after, and then it was like you get all the shite, don't you, from all the French people saying, "Oh, you lost 4 rounds," and that you think, "Fucking hell." And then my phone's been non-stop with fucking all the abuse. I've just been ignoring it now. So obviously, that's what you got to do. But now I want to get in there and smoke whoever.
So let's just talk about that then. Obviously, you're getting abuse and French fans been upset, and I mean the stats are there for them to see. Have you had to look at the stats yourself?
Yeah.
It
was like a lot of them are saying to me, "Oh, you just lucky didn't connect with you." I've clearly got 2 black eyes, so he clearly was connecting with me. But
you can't win fights with missing.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So it's not my problem if you can't land the shots, is it? It's his problem.
It's the game.
So,
I mean, that is that not the James? That's the dumbest argument ever. Oh, you're just lucky it didn't hit you. I mean, that is.
I think most we've had this before, man, and see when you go into the UFC and bigger stages and stuff, dude, you're going to get this. It's people just jump on success. So I would say, put out what you want to put out on social media, but don't read anybody's post. People are saying that. I think I messaged you on Facebook. They don't train. Yeah. They don't train. They've not been in a gym. They've never had a fight. Or that's not a constructive argument. That like you beat my pal, so I'm going to bitch about it. But you're going to get that, man, for the rest of your career, unfortunately.
That's it. Well, I think he just looked bewildered after the first round. I think he was so like one-track minded and thinking he was going to spank me, and obviously I had a different idea, and that first round was just exactly how I imagined it was going to go, and he looked shocked, but I definitely didn't.
See, when you went back to the corner after that first round, you walked back and it almost looked like the confidence has grown. When you walked back to your corner, it looked like you thought, I've got this, dude.
Yeah, well, I come back to the corner and I said to him, I told you it'd be like that. And then I was just that in the moment. I got told off for it after, but when my corner team were giving me advice, I walked away from them. Almost walked over to Charriere's side because I was just buzzing. I was drinking my bottle of water, and that was me. I was just stoating about the ring, ready for the next round to go. And Claire just walked away from my corner team, and that weren't to be disrespectful. I was just in the moment, and I wanted to keep it moving, keep the action going.
Yeah, I mean,
I didn't need the fitness. We should have just done the 5 rounds straight through. We didn't need the minute rest in between.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, I think folk can bitch and moan on it, but James, you can speak it as well. It was a great fight for you, and I think clearly the deserved winner in the fight, and I think the numbers back that up as well.
Yeah, I outlanded him by like 110 strikes. That was what I had on top of his.
Well, I'll tell you, but while we're here, I've got it in front of me, so I think let's have a look. So I think he landed like 53 strikes and you were
like 90 odd, yeah.
You were 95. So I mean that's a significant amount. If only he'd landed another 50 or so strikes.
Yeah, exactly. It took him another 5 rounds to land that many, wouldn't it?
And James, sorry, you were jumping in there.
I think on we done a preview show me and Stevie Mop, and I think actually I called that fight pretty much perfect, which is not like me. I said it'd be the most technical fight out of the 3 nights. I said it'd be one of the best fights. I said it'd be close, and I picked you to win on versatility, which is what you done. You elbowed him, you kneed him, you kicked him, you punched with him, and he was just looking to punch. And I think the first round was so telling, man, because you got comfortable really quick and he never. And then it looked like by the time he started getting comfortable, it was too late for him. I scored at watching, I scored at 3-2. And it pretty much played out how I expected it would, to be fair.
Yeah. Jordan, I just want to take you back to obviously before the fight. I want to find out a wee bit about what the fight week experience was like for you. Obviously leading into the fight with such a massive thing at stake, i.e. the CageWarriors belt, because it's such a significant thing for any European fighter to achieve, and it's not an easy thing to achieve. The fight week itself, did it feel different to you leading up to the fight?
Yeah, it almost felt like it was the most relaxed I'd been. Obviously, the most I'd trained, and obviously, if you watch any of my fights, you know 5 rounds is going to suit me. So maybe guys go into title fights almost like scared, like, I've got to do 5 rounds. Whereas for me, I was thinking that's all right for me. It's 5 rounds. Even if I lose the first couple, I can always come in strong as it goes on. But I've envisioned that for so long that the whole fight week was just sort of like I put in a post before, it was like deja vu. Like I just knew all of this was going to come, and I knew that I was going to win. And on the night, I was that tunnel vision on the night that I wasn't even listening to the judges. If you actually watch me, I'm just looking at my my glove because I was waiting for them to say in the blue corner. That's what I was waiting for. So, but yeah, that's the most calm I've been in there. I've always gone in with sort of different ways of thinking when I've fought and just testing the waters to see which is the best. I think the aimable fight, I was wanting to test. I had a bad hand in that, so I was wanting to test how I was going to feel in the grappling with the older, stronger, more experienced guy. With the Hughes one, he brought that aspect of made you actually want to hurt him with shots. And with the Charriere, he didn't really talk. I didn't have to get emotionally invested. So I could just go in there. And right before the fight, my coach, Danny, said to me, just imagine we're in the gym and this guy's coming down to test you out, test to see how good you are. Just imagine you're sparring with him like you would in the gym. And that's exactly what I tried to go in and do. Just pick him apart like I would in the gym.
And I've got to ask, Will, you mentioned Danny there. How was Danny's nerves fight week? How was he getting on? I'm telling you, all my corner team were more nervous than me before the fight. I was telling them to calm down. I was like, are you all right? They're like, yeah, just a bit nervous, aren't I? And Danny said something before and he stopped before he said it. And I looked at him and went, you're nervous, aren't you? And he was like, well, yeah, I didn't want to say it to you. I was like, oh, don't worry about it. James, maybe you can speak to that. What's it like for you as a coach when you've got one of your guys going into a massive fight, like, and for a CageWarriors title, a place you've been before? Do you get nervous? What's the experience like for you?
I hate it. I remember before when Stevie fought in Glasgow at the Hydro, he fought with Leandro Mafra at the first UFC in Glasgow. They made a big deal about it. It was on the posters and they'd done the fight week. And I remember being sick in the toilet before it, and I was like, that should have been a fighter. Like, I've seen fighters do that. I think I've probably done that when I was fighting, but I remember being like, right, I'm away for a pee, and we're waiting for the next fight out type of thing, and then just fucking bombed in the toilet, man. Can rinse my mouth out and then went out, and Stevie's like, good, and I'm like, aye, we're good, let's go. But it's nerve wracking, man. It's because you don't have the same control. I preferred when I was fighting, at least I knew I was in control of certain elements, but with the coaching thing, it's like, you know how much work the guy's done, your fighter's done. You know that he couldn't be any more prepped. He's not cut any corners, so you're confident and stuff there, but there is an element of it's kind of now out of your hands to an extent. I think that's where the nerves comes, but I don't remember ever being as nervous for my own fights as I was for some of my students. I remember that one with Stevie sticks out. The first time I went to America with Joanne as well. It's not even always the bigger ones. Sometimes like some of the kids, like Sean Clancy's first fight, like just because I've known him since he was 6 years old. and now he's 16-year-old and he's fighting he's fighting an adult, and I'm like, you still think of him as a wee boy, but it's a different type of nerves, man. You have to try and hide it because you don't want people. It can be contagious, that shit. You don't want the fighter thinking like, fucking hell, my corner man's nervous. What's he nervous about? And so you just poker face it, to be fair.
Well, it must be an element of, like, even when you're speaking about Jordan, like Danny or James, when you're cornering, they've got, once you're in the cage, it's basically they've got no control of the situation. They can speak to you, but like you done, Jordan, you at one point walked away. So it's all on the fighter now.
Yeah, exactly that. Well, I mean, I've cornered guys myself, and you almost try to slip the punches for them, or if they get hit with a shot, you get hit with it. So I know exactly how James and Danny are feeling when you're in there, and yeah,
I keep getting told to sit down at these big shows because you're not meant to stand in the corner at CageWarriors or at the UFC. I'm always up, and like there's videos of. You've ever seen Chuck Liddell watching fights? I think he might be out his face in coke, but he's like, he watches fights and he's like, I get like that sometimes. And I'm like, fucking, it's nerve wracking. It's nerve wracking.
So, Jordan, you've got the belt. You're now. I've got to ask as well. You're eating a lot. You've said there. What's been the food of choice?
What ain't been the food of choice? I'm at that stage now where I'm just eating to eat. I'm not even enjoying it really. I'm just eating, being a bit of a mess. But I don't know if James used to get this as well and he used to fight, but when I've cut all the weight and I get so slim, when I start eating bad food, it'll go straight to my face straight away. I get a big fat face, man, and then it slowly disperses and goes fat everywhere else. But for the first bit, I've always got a big chin and big fat chubby cheeks and stuff right after the fight. I feel a big fatty now, but I don't know if that's just because I've been so skinny. I've had cheekbones for so long, and now I'm just fat.
Hamster cheeks.
Yeah, exactly.
That's probably all it is, just because you've sucked away and you've felt the bones in your face and all that.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna get my belly tattooed because I mean, some fighters are absolutely shredded, didn't they, in their way, and then they've got sick abs. But even though I get shredded, I don't really get sick abs. So I'm sick of being in there and looking back and thinking I'm not even that in bloody good shape when I fight. So I'm just going to get it all tattooed now, get it all covered. I mean, I'm not as bad as Luke Shanks. He's chubby when he actually fights.
Don't talk about weights and Luke Shanks in front of James. You'll have a meltdown right now.
Yeah, I bet, yeah.
Fucker.
So, Jordan, now do you just give yourself some time to relax before you start thinking about what's next, or is your mind already on that?
Nah, my mind was already on it. And again, sort of the people taking the performance away from you. I mean, I've even seen a lot of fighters and English guys saying like blah blah blah. They think that Charriere would have won it. So whether it's Charriere or it's Hughes, the next guy I want to go in there, I literally want to make a statement. No more split decisions. I want to come in there. I mean, look, I'm not one of these people that I've got the mad one punch power, and I'm not deluded enough to think I've got that. But I've definitely got a one-shot elbow or a one-shot knee or kick to the head I'll get you with. So whoever I'll fight next, I just want to sort of do death by 1,000 cuts on them and just outclass them. I want the first round of the Charriere to be all 5 rounds. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, you putting your matchmaker head on for Ian Dean here, James. Who do you think they'll look at for Jordan next? Because, I mean, I think they'd probably lean towards Hughes before Charriere. Do you not?
I think Graham put out some tweet, I think on Sunday, saying like the next trilogy might have a night of rematches type of thing. I don't know if he was hinting at Jordan versus Charriere again. But both of those guys are excellent fighters. They're both very good, and Jordan's beat both of them. So it'll be one or the other. I don't know if the social media backlash off it. I think the kid's like a reality TV show star or some shit in France, but I don't know if that backlash makes it more appealing for CageWarriors to put the Charriere fight on as a rematch, just because they maybe get more French guys watching it and stuff. But Christ knows, I'd imagine.
Aye. And so you're obviously, Jordan, for you, it just doesn't matter. Whoever it is who it is.
Yeah, exactly that. Just whoever. Like I said, I've always said I think I'm destined for more, not just this. I know this is a really high, stable, but I've always said I'm destined for more. So whether that means I've got to beat whoever, doesn't matter if it's John Doe or whoever, that's who I've got to fight.
I've got to ask you as well, one of the main reasons for getting the Cage Warriors belt is because generally that means you're soon to be joining the UFC. Do you look at the Cage Warriors belt or for just being what it is, the Cage Warriors belt, or do you look at it as just purely a stepping stone to move into that next level?
Yeah. I got the Cage Warriors belt to get to the UFC. I didn't get it to finish as the Cage Warriors World Champion. But I know I've got to solidify myself with that. And 3 split decisions in a row is probably not going to be the best thing to get myself to the UFC. So just defend the belt, show that I am the champion, show that a lot of the French fans think it was a fluke that I beat him. So if I have to get in there and smash him again, show that it wasn't a fluke and almost it was a fluke that he got the split decision. That's what I want to show if we fight again. And same with the Hughes, just show that I am just levels above these guys. And I know I'm going to prove it when I get in against either of them, whoever I have to do it against.
Yeah, the problem is, you're talking about split decisions, but the level of the guys you're fighting, and James, you can come in on this as well. When it's that, the fights are that high level, and like the last fight, it's that technical as well. The likelihood is with most of these fights, especially down in featherweight and stuff like that, the likelihood is it's going to decisions.
Yeah.
These, especially the last 2 fights, these are UFC level fights. They're not. It's not like back in the day where you're like, this is a good domestic fight. Like, Jordan Paul and Morgan Charriere could go into the UFC right now and win fights at featherweight, comfortable. So they are UFC level fights. We had the same thing with Stevie Ray when he went to Cage Warriors to the UFC, and he stopped his first 2 guys in the UFC, and then ran into Mikel Lebout in Dublin for his 3rd fight and went to points. And then it was tough for him. He's got 7 wins in the UFC, but I think he only had the 2 or 3 stoppages because the level of competition. Again, with split decision with Ross Pearson, with a points winner Joe Lozon, with a points winner Michael Johnson. But it's the level of competition is a factor. It's like when you watch 2 very, very sound kind of football teams together with good defences and stuff like that, and they're well-rounded teams, there's not going to be a lot of goals. So you're just dealing with that at that level, man. You could easily go and stay on the regional shows and pad your record against bums and blast them out and around and stuff like that. But these fights are going to prepare you for the UFC.
Yeah.
And when you get there, you'll not feel like any jumping level.
Yeah, no, that's what a lot of the armchair fans don't understand, do they? The level of the guys that we are fighting against, and it is hard to get in there. I mean, on any given day, us and me, Charriere and Hughes, on any given day, at any given moment, probably either could be either one. So I've just been lucky. I've edged it against both of them on the days, but anything can happen in the sport. And with it, I'm not scared of losing either. I think a lot of people overlook that. I want to win every fight, but at the same time, I'm not scared of losing. So it's never a thing in my head before I fight. I'm shitting myself to have these losses come on my record, or it's never any pressure for me. So I just get to get in there and enjoy it and just get to do what I love and fight. Simple as that.
See, with the social media stuff thing, we had Eric Nixick on last week, who he coaches Francis Ngannou at Extreme Couture, but he also coaches a really good UFC featherweight, Dan Ige. And he was talking about Dan, how, and it's the first time I've ever heard anybody actually mention it. He says Dan Ige actively goes on Twitter and stuff like that and looks for people talking shit about him before his fights just to make him train harder and to prove people wrong. And he says it's the only fighter he's ever seen that's done that as well, because most of them try and stay away from it. Yeah, but he's like, Dan reads it and it fires him up, and he's like, I'll fucking show them, I'll teach them, type of thing. So it could be a very good motivator for you. Yeah,
exactly. I'm just whoever now. I mean, a lot of people might have thought I was a bit crazy for calling my shot with the Hughes fight because, in my opinion, it's the harder fight. But I just imagined myself being in Hughes' shoes, and if Charriere does get the straight rematch with me, then obviously Hughes is going to be gutted. No matter what he writes on Twitter, deep down that it's probably going to crush him a bit inside, and that's why I thought, look, I'll get my shot out there, I'll get my feelings known, and whether I get the Hughes one, there's a hard fight for me, or whether I don't get it, then at least people are clear knowing that that's the fight I thought I should have got.
You would know best because you've fought both the guys. So. Yeah,
exactly. And I mean, my performance against Charriere was a lot better. I mean, if I had that performance I did against Hughes, like I did with Charriere, I mean, it might have been a totally different story. But at the same time, Hughes got in there. Hughes did things that Charriere couldn't do. Charriere couldn't really take me down against the fence, whereas Paul got a takedown. And I don't know. I just think that even those two having a fight, I would love to be a fan there watching those two fight because they're at just that high level.
Yeah.
But yeah, who knows?
You've also got Tobias Harila, is that the boy's name?
Yes,
the Swedish boy.
Yeah.
Looked pretty good in his debut as well. So the division's pretty stacked there now.
Yeah, exactly that. I mean, I think definitely in Cage Warriors, it's the roster with the highest level of guys, and even that James Hendon that Paul just beat. They're all really high level guys. So I mean, there's crazy matchups in that. And again, it's the same with the division. If you get knocked down, you've got a hard-old way to get back up to the top again.
Yeah. So somebody that's left obviously. Oh, excuse me. Sorry there, I've got something I thought we can edit that bit out. Jesus Christ, what happened there? Fucking hell.
If you fucking die on the podcast,
no, I'm not going to. I don't even know what I swallowed there, fuck's sake, man. This is definitely getting fucking left in the show. There's no way he'll edit this out. So, John, what I wanted to ask you actually was, now that you look back to when you first get into the sport and see where you've got to today, that must make you happy coming from there. Now you've got to this point in your career where you're a Cage Warriors World Champion. And I mean, that's a fantastic achievement. And how many Cage Warriors World Champions have went on to do extremely well and succeed in the UFC?
Yeah, but again, I think I've always just had that much confidence. If you went back to me 5 years ago and said, in 5 years you'll be Cage Warriors World Champion, I'd have been like, yeah, I know. There wouldn't have been any doubt about it. I just always knew that that's what I was going to go on and do. And I know what I'm going to go on and do after this. Do you know what I mean? So, and for you going forward, how quickly do you think, or how many fights, defences do you feel you need to have to make it to a point where the UFC have to bring you in? I don't know. I don't even think it's the number of fights. I think it's the way I'm going to perform in the next couple. It's going to be a big deciding factor. I started it late, so I started martial arts late, so I've not got the sort of. A lot of these guys have the crazy flexibility and stuff, and they can do things that's like a bit crazy. Whereas for me, I feel like, I know I'm not, but I feel like an old man with some of the stuff I can do compared to some of these other guys. So maybe I should get my stretch and get some mad spinning head kicks in or something like that and try to get some of them wins. I'll get to the UFC quicker.
The only downside with that is when it goes wrong, it's not great.
Yeah, exactly that. I just try to stick to the basics. I just think basics win fights. As you got a sharp jab and just sharp. Even just defense is a big thing. I think a lot of people miss out on. If you ain't getting hit, then you ain't getting the risk of being knocked out or anything like that. And I think a lot of guys are just so all on attacking and landing the big shots, whereas they neglect you've got to make sure you ain't getting hit with the big shots.
I would assume, James, when you're coaching guys, that the whole point of the coaching is to hit and not get hit. That is the ultimate goal, is it not?
That's the game, man. We generally start for the feet up. Everyone else is all footwork. With striking anyway, and then build for there. But Jordan nailed on. I've actually spoke to other coaches about this, like good coaches. MMA guys generally, in terms of striking, they're pretty good offensively. They can all punch hard and string combinations together and stuff like that. But when you compare them to elite level strikers for boxing and Thai boxing, defensively they're really poor. A lot of them back up in a straight line with their chin up and pull their chin out and just stuff like that. Kind of defend in layers and stuff. So it's big differences, man. But it's what Jordan says. Basics is the way to go. There's a blueprint when you watch the best guys in the world. Like we always tell our younger guys to watch Jose Aldo for his footwork, his takedown defence, his jab, his leg kick, and then GSP and just guys like that, just in solid fundamental stuff. And that gets you further than some of these erratic nut job guys who look good for one or two fights, but then when it goes bad, and they usually get starched. Yeah,
absolutely. And the other, obviously we've spoken about you for the wee bit. Your inbox has been full with a lot of French people. What's been? You must have had a few funny ones off them.
I've had crazy. I've had little 20-year-old gimps messaging me saying, "Come to my hood," sending me their postcode. I'll 1v1 you and stuff like that. They just think, shut your mouth. You know, it's funny. Like just laugh to laugh. Like I screenshotted a couple of them, and I was going to post them and screen recorded a couple of the French people when they've sent me voice notes going crazy, and I can't even understand what they're saying, but. You just think, are you dumb? You're messaging me asking a professional fighter, well, the world champion, to come 1v1 you in your back garden in front of your mum or something. You think it's just crazy, but yeah, some of them have been crazy. I mean, some of them have been wicked. I've had a lot of French people actually message me saying, "Hello, I'm French, and I do actually believe you won. So well done, blah blah blah." But yeah, some of them have been crazy. Some of them have been asking me for one-to-ones and all sorts.
We had that with Luke Shanks, actually. But both the fights, the French guys were sending us videos threatening to marry us and stuff like this, and they stuffed their bums.
Well, Luke Shanks would have been loving that, wouldn't he?
He moved to France.
He's away to France now.
He's not came back. And then after they lost to Hadley, guys, all sorts of guys messaging, but they're all like 15-year-old kids, like hiding up in their room, bored at night. So they're just like, fucking hell, man. The internet.
It's a world we live in. But I mean, if you're getting your inbox full with things, it might not be all positive stuff, but you must be doing something right.
Yeah, exactly that. Exactly.
That's it. So, in terms of getting back in there with Cage Warriors, have you got any timeline in your mind, or are you just basically waiting for Graham Marine to contact you?
Well, I think my coach just wanted me to have a little bit of time off because obviously I've fought on all of the trilogies back to back to back. But I just sent Ian a little message earlier just saying I'm ready, whoever, whenever, back to it. So I'm just looking forward to I'm going to have tonight is my last night eating some shite. Then tomorrow I'll be back on it, back on the diet. And then I actually got told by my grappling coach, Lucas, that if he sees me in the gym, he's going to send me home. I'm not allowed back till next week. So I've been in the sort of the gym hitting the bag for the now. But in regards to the actual MMA gym, I'll be back there Monday, and then that'll be me back on it. Maybe I'll take sparring off for a couple of weeks, but then once I've got like a solid 10 or 8 weeks, then that'll be me. I'll just get straight back to it.
And will there be any special treatment in the gym for the champ? Will Danny be doing anything special for you?
He'll be staying away from my bum. That's what he'll be doing. You know what he's like, man. He'll be trying to get after me, but nah. I mean, I'm the guy in the gym that I knew I was the champ before I was the champ. So and now I've just got the belt to go with it. But everyone was like, oh, I mean, people in the gym are rolling their eyes thinking about me having that belt, saying, fuck, can you imagine when he gets the belt? So yeah.
And you're not going to do a Tim Sylvie, are you? Walk about with a belt on the gym all the time, or?
Nah, I'll bring it with me to watch. I'll leave it on the side of the mat and look at it all the time.
Where is the belt? I can't believe we're this far into the show and you've not seen it.
It's right there.
It's there. It's looking at me. It's waiting for me.
That must feel good, right?
I'm telling you, they're fucking weighty, isn't they? You don't realise how heavy they're going to be till you get it.
They are heavy. I think I've held the one that's in higher level, and Ross Houston's when I interviewed him. good bit of weight on them.
You wouldn't want to hit her the head with it.
Fuck, I know. Could you imagine that? I don't know how Graham gets it on you right after the fight when we're all moving, trying to hug each other, and I don't know how he ends up battling it on you.
So what is it? Is it 3 defences and you keep the belt?
Yeah, something like that. I don't know if you can buy it or anything like that. I ain't got Scooby-Doo.
I think John Kavanagh bought Connor 2 belts because Cage Warriors took them back. So I think it's 3 defences, man, because we've got one here that was Paul McVeigh's. He defended it. He had the featherweight belt, then dropped to bantamweight and defended it 3 or 4 times. So they let you keep it outright. Yeah,
so 3 times. So listen, imagine a perfect way to do it would be Charriere, Hughes, and that Harilla guy. That'd be 3 good defences, and a good move on to the UFC. I think that'd solidify it, wouldn't it?
That's a dream. And I mean, obviously the other thing is we hope things. Actually, that's the other thing. Do you look forward? Hopefully, your next fight we've got crowds back in there again. Can you imagine walking out as a Cage Warriors champion with the crowd there?
Bloody hell! Well, with my newfound success in Corby, my new fame, fucking hell, the amount of people telling me they'll come to my fight, it'll be fucking minted from ticket sales. You know what I mean? But if they do stick to it, you never know. But yeah, it's going to be good to come out to a crowd. I mean, I've been coming out to Silence playing banger music. Be nice to actually have people bouncing about when I actually do come out. But yeah,
in terms of as a fighter, because we speak about like sponsors and sponsorship, and do you notice a difference for that for winning the belt? Is that something you've had any more interest in than you would normally after a fight, or?
Yeah. Well, I've had sponsors come to me that didn't want to sponsor me before, and now all of a sudden they want to sponsor me, and I ain't going to turn them away because they're the bigger sponsors. So come on then, come back to me. Come on.
See, at the end of the day, man, that's what keeps you going as a fighter until you hit that stage where you're making the massive bucks in the UFC, etc. Sponsorships and that, you've got to do what you've got to do, man. Yeah,
exactly that. But now, I've had a big like uproar of people wanting to jump on. So it's all good. It's all good for me. They can all jump on. They can all get on board this. I'm not going to be fussy.
No, brilliant. And we'll let you go in a few minutes, James. I just want to bring you in to see if you've got anything else you'd like to add in.
We've kind of already touched on it. I always want to ask who you felt was a better fighter out of Paul Hughes and Morgan.
Yeah, I think Hughes. I think technically all round, I think Hughes is the better guy. I mean, Morgan's got the one punch power, but I think even with the Hughes fight, we drilled loads to not let him get the back. So you see with the Charriere fight, I would turn and turtle and get back up that way. Whereas the game plan with Hughes was to not turn and give you back, because he underhooks on the same side and everything to let you turn away. He almost opens the door for you to say, go on, turn away, and he'll take you back. So even with him, when it hit the ground, I had to stay on the ground and take a bit of punishment because I couldn't turn away, turtle and stand to my feet. I had to get my underhooks and turn into him. So just with stuff like that, I think his game's a lot more advanced all around than Charriere's is. Charriere's got the athleticism probably on all of us, and he's got the brute one-punch power. But I think if I had to roll, wrestle, and strike, if we had to do it all 3, I think Hughes would cause the most problems out of him and Charriere, definitely.
Yeah, he looks like he's like a modern MMA fighter compared to Charriere's like a specialist still. Even though they're both really good. The other one was I seen an interview with Ian Gary today, and he was talking about getting to the UFC, and I don't know if they actually asked him who would like to fight first, but he said Mike Perry. So if the UFC they're going to come, but if they come before Cage Warriors and you can pick who you fight going into that featherweight division, who do you want? Who would you like to fight? Yeah,
I'd jump straight in. I'd want Holloway. I think that'd be a wicked fight. Just to see how the output, because I've got a high striking output. He's got a high strike output, and I think guys are just there for him to hit. I'd like to jump in, and I think that'd be a pretty crazy fight. To be fair,
try and put some numbers up.
Exactly that. Yeah, I know we'd probably score the amount, but again, same thing. I think he's a specialist. I think I've got a very, very good timing with takedowns in those sort of striking exchanges, and I think I could mix it up with him and cause him some problems with some takedowns. I mean, I'm not the best at holding you down, but I can sure enough whip you down and score takedowns.
What about domestic fight? Paddy Pimblett's just signed to the UFC, but I've got a funny feeling Paddy might go back to 145 now that he's moved to the UFC.
I don't know if he's actually signed with the UFC yet. Maybe he has, but I'll welcome all comers for that belt. I've got to, and I can't say no to any of them. But even like I had a little bit of banter with Paddy after the thing. I said to him, call me out on Twitter or something, get my followers up. I says, call me a cunt on Twitter. I need some new followers. And he just laughed about it. But so
all fun and games. And just last question for me, I wanted to ask you, see, preparing and fighting guys like Hughes, Charriere, guys that are at such a high level, how much has that improved you as a fighter over these last couple of fights, just preparing and getting and fighting these guys?
I mean, massively, because I can't switch off in training. And I think when you're fighting guys at that sort of level, all the little times where you'd have the mini times you'd give up in your training, you're doing sprints and you only sprint 60% when really you should be sprinting 100. And when I'm fighting these sort of level of guys, that can't happen. And my body wants to do it. And I think, nope, stop being a twat. Come on, carry on going. Or I'm doing the 5 rounds and I get to 3, think I'm fucked. And think, nope, come on, do the next 2 because it's all going to be worth it. And I mean, like James said, I could have fought 10 bums and be 10-0 with 10 knockouts now, but I'm not. I fought 1 bum out of all of them, and that was a late notice fight. And look where it's got me. I was on my 9th fight, fighting for the CageWarriors world title, and look at Charriere. He's had 30 plus fights, and he's fought for it. So I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. I'm just going to keep knocking the door on and beating up all the top guys. Simple as that. That's how I got the name Epidemic, and that's how I've kept it.
Brilliant. Well, Jordan, obviously, I know this is your last night. You enjoying whatever food's available, so we'll let you get back to that, mate. And congratulations again for us in winning the World Championship. That was congratulations, mate.
No, thank you. And I want to come up to higher level soon as well, James. Get some training in with you.
Yeah, man. Anytime. That'll be cool.
Yeah, I want to get some rounds in with that guy. What I follow him? I can't remember what his name is. He's got quite nice Thai style. I mean, I know a lot of you guys have got that. I follow him, Mark. I want to come up and get some move with him. He looks nice on the pads and stuff, so it'd be nice to come up and get a little move around with him and stuff.
Yeah, he's a big fan of yours as well, man. That'd be good for him. He's just about to have his first pro fight, hopefully.
Yeah.
We're possibly going to EFC in South Africa with him because he's half Nigerian.
Yeah.
So anytime, man.
No, thank you.
And if you come up, Jordan, are you going to torture Luke Shanks?
I'll be staying away from him. I'll catch something from him being around him, man.
Take him back. You can take him back with you, man.
Fucking hell.
What did you actually, before, just one last time, before James, that video was up to Luke with was it a red jumpsuit?
He's fucking running about the woods and that. I thought it was like a red leather tracksuit thing.
It looked like Eddie Murphy's red suit for Eddie Raw.
Delirious,
that's it.
But I was like, what the fuck is that you're wearing? He's like, it's my new sweatsuit. And I'm like, why are you running about the woods wearing that thing with a mask? Fucking terrifying people. And then he's just to be honest, he wears, his fucking fashion sense is terrible anyway. He's always got bright yellow trainers on and all sorts, man.
When we went to ACB, he had a fucking bird on him the whole time. She was trying to bump him, man, when he was cutting weight. He's off his nut.
He's not right, man.
Brilliant. Well, listen, we'll let you go on that, mate, and hopefully we'll see you up in Scotland soon.
No, thank you. Thank you for having me on, boys.